Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about HTTP enumeration. So what we're going to talk about on today's lecture, we're going to talk what is HTTP, what is an HTTP request, what is an HTTP method, what is an HTTP response, and I'm going to illustrate with some examples. So an HTTP request, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it is a standard application level protocol used for exchanging files on the World Wide Web, which is also known as the www. HTTP runs on top of the TCP/IP protocol and QUIC protocol, and HTTP is an application layer protocol designed to transfer information between network devices and runs on top of other layers of the network protocol stack. So what is an HTTP request? An HTTP request is the way internet is an HTTP request is the way internet communication platforms such as the web browser ask for the information they need to load the website. So there are various typical HTTP requests on which HTTP contains, which are the HTTP version, the URL, the HTTP method, the HTTP request headers, the optional HTTP body. So we're going to talk about the HTTP method. The HTTP method refers to the HTTP verb, which indicates the action that the HTTP request expects from query server. So if we have two most common HTTP methods like the get method and the post method now, a get request expect information back in return, usually in the form of a website, while the post request typically indicates that the client is submitting information to a web server, such as the information which is submitted like the username, the password, and some other information. So we have the HTTP response. The HTTP response is what a web client receives from an internet server in, in answer of the HTTP request. So this response communicates valuable information based on what they are asked for in the HTTP request. So whenever you are doing an HTTP response, just know that you are going to expect the following, which are the HTTP status code, the HTTP response headers, and the optional HTTP bodies. So I'm going to talk briefly on this status, the HTTP response headers, and optional HTTP body. So the status code are three-digit code, which are often used to indicate whether an HTTP request has been successfully completed or not. Then the HTTP response header response which comes with header that convey important information such as the language and the format of the data being sent to the response body. The optional HTTP. So I'm going to illustrate with a practical example. So this is my IP address 10.3.19.130. So let's enumerate this IP address. Let's run an Nmap on this IP address. So yeah, it says that the host is up, and this this is the HTTP is open on port 80, and this is the MSRPC, which is on port 135. As you can see, we have the MySQL, the MSWPT server, So if we want to discover the multiple ports which are opened by focusing on a particular port, let's say we want to focus on port 80, for example. So we're going to do nmap scripts http enumerate. Sorry, this is for a different code. So if we want to enumerate a particular port, for example, let's wait for this to finish. So yeah, this is port 80 and it's open on HTTP. So these are the information, the latency, that is the time at which the host came up, and some other reports on this particular enumeration. So if you want to get a running header script on this particular server, so we use the Nmap. So this is the running header on the script to get the the server header information. So which is the cache control, which is private, and some other vital informations here. So let's check the HTTP method script on in this particular directory webdev to discover if it allows any methods or not. So, so yes, it's supported in method which has to it gets head post and with other information are written on it. Thank you and see you in the next class.